my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 3 of this unboxing. And this is where my comic shop will have, so ding, they sometimes have what's called their Prime auctions. And in April, they had their Prime auction, and it's like sort of a big thing where they bring out the bigger books. I didn't win any of the really big books, but I won a few cool books. Actually, I won about 14. I'm going to show you some of the slabs that I won in this part, and it was a pretty great auction. Actually, they had like Black Hat Mystery 50. They had a whole bunch of really big books that I wanted to win. They had a Horrific 3. They had a whole bunch of really cool books. I didn't win any of the really big books, but I did win some cool books, so kind of balances out, I guess. And I didn't have to pay those crazy prices. I think in a weird way, because there was some big books, in a way distracted from these other maybe smaller books. People put all their bidding effort into those big ones and kind of let me have some of these cheaper ones. So I was quite happy. Okay, so I'm first going to show a couple other things that I picked up. One is I actually got this really great Adam Hughes cover. So this one I actually got from eBay. And it is from the Last Boy is the name of the series. But he did Adam Hughes did a variant cover, and this became a very desirable book. I think it went up to like $150 because it is pretty sexy with Tinkerbell, and she's like whispering into Peter Pan's ear, I believe. And you got all the fireflies floating around her. It's just a really well done cover. So this became the hot one, and it was really rare. I think it's a 1 in 20 variant, but the Last Boy was not a title that most comic shops ordered 20 of. So most comic shops didn't even get this book. So it was a very low print run as a result. I think if people had known, like it wasn't one that they had advertised what the cover was going to look like. So I think if comic shops had known that this was the cover, they probably would have ordered 20 copies just to have this copy. But because it was not advertised, it just went under the radar, and as a result, it became a very rare issue and very desirable. So yeah, so I was quite happy. I got it for about $100. It was pretty expensive considering it's a modern, like basically just came out like a month ago cover. So this next one is a book that I bought from my comic shop, and they just had this, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll pick that up. It was like $10, but it's a very cool book, and I gotta take it out of the plastic. So kind of, they put a lot of tape on it. So just one sec here. Okay, lots of tape. I just want to show it. So, okay. It's this book. It's League of Regrettable Superheroes. So we got a whole bunch of superheroes, and we got Phantoma. She's actually the first superhero with powers. And she was from Jumbo Comics, I believe Jumbo Comics number 2 or 3. I actually I bought Jumbo Comics number 2 just for getting the first appearance of a female character with superpowers. So she's actually a very important character. She can do this weird transformational thing. Then we got Dr. Hormone, which sounds very odd. And then we got Fat Man. Actually, I think I have his first appearance too. And then we got Bozo the Iron Man. And believe it or not, I think I have his first appearance. I'm getting that in a future unboxing. It's coming. And then we got the Eye. I actually saw the Eye offered once, and I missed out on it. And then we got Amazing Man. Now this is one of those classic covers. They're hard to get, actually. And then we got some other characters. We got, what else do we have here? We have the Face. The Face Basically, it's just a guy that wears a mask. He's got no powers, but he's kind of a cool guy. He looks like a villain, but he's actually a good guy. Then we got Pat Parker, War Nurse. I've been trying to get her first appearance. Really hard to find. Then we got Dr. Vampire. And then we have Moon Girl. I have her, of course. And then we have Nightmare and Sleepy. That's really cool. I'm not familiar with those two. So basically, this is like I'll actually take it out of the next layer of plastic. They wrapped it well. I give them credit. But it's just basically like a who's who of Golden Age characters, and you get to see their covers. Actually, I almost picked this one up. Oh my goodness, I just bid on this book and I lost out. I was kind of sad about it. The Heroic Comics. It's the first appearance of Whirlwind or something like that, or Rainbow Boy. Yeah, I was trying to remember his name. Rainbow Boy is this guy right here. Okay, and then we have, it's just like a whole bunch of really odd characters. B-Man. We got Speed Comics, and there's War Nurse. Then we have Heroic Comics. So it's just like like if you ever want to find out where certain characters made their first appearances, this is kind of the book for you. Like Dollman and it's all these quirky characters too that I like. I'm a big fan of these quirkier characters. We got Smash Comics. I think actually he appeared first in Smash Comics #1. Yeah, Smash Comics #1, which I have coming, actually. I'll be getting it at the end of the month. And then we got the Bouncer. I have this first appearance too. Just another quirky character. I mean, look what he's wearing. It's just such a quirky character. And yeah, it's some really awesome stuff. We got Dial H, so some Silver Age as well, not just all golden. I have this book. This is Fat Man and the Flying Saucers, or Flying Saucer, the Human Flying Saucer. And we have this one. I have this one as well. I got 2 copies of this when I first got it. I got it in a lot of ACG books. What's his name? Magic Man. Yeah. And then we got Nature Boy. Just some really quirky characters. So it's really fun. Maggot. Yeah, just really fun stuff. I thought it was a cool book. For $10, I thought, wow, this is really great. And it's the Regrettable Superheroes. Just sort of oddball characters that were, ones that were built, but maybe not as popular as some of the bigger characters like Batman and stuff. I mean, if you think about it, like Batman and all these kind of other characters are kind of quirky too. I mean, Batman's sort of a, guy wearing a bat suit. That's kind of quirky. So yeah, so that's that one. Okay, now I'll get into the slabs. So we got 3 slabs, or 4 slabs. Make that 5 slabs, okay? Let's go through these a little quicker then. Okay, so this first one was not an auction win, but it was a cool book that they had that I was being very nostalgic about. So this was one based on nostalgia. When I was a kid, I didn't collect hockey cards. I didn't collect baseball cards. I collected Garbage Pail Kids. I love those cards. I thought they were the coolest cards. I actually was pretty good. I had a pretty good collection of Garbage Pail Kids. I didn't have them all, but I had almost all of them. I was like really trying to get them all. And I found out later that they actually produced a comic book for Garbage Pail Kids. And I wanted to get their first appearance. Now, I found out that their first appearance was in 2014, much later, in this book. And the Garbage Pail Kids, obviously, based on the name, were very gross. I mean, look, he's using boogers to make a rope. So yeah, this is the very first appearance of Garbage Pail Kids. I got this for 80 bucks. It was, you know, I thought a really good price for a first appearance of Garbage Pail Kids and such a disturbing cover. And it really makes me happy to have this in my collection because I am, this was something that was kind of big for my childhood. Who did the art for it? Doesn't say. That's really odd. Oh, it does say. Mark Frigador? The cover. I think, if I'm saying that right. Maybe Fingator? I'm not sure. I can't quite. It's a little hard for me to read. It's an homage to, obviously, Detective 27. That's what they're saying. So yeah, very cool. It looks like a little, like mafioso guy getting kind of swung around. Okay, so that's the first one. Not one of the auction wins, but just a cool book. I thought it was interesting. And okay, this next one is one of the auction wins. And this is an interesting one. I thought this was really high grade for a Golden Age book, or actually Silver Age book. It's barely Silver Age, but it is Silver Age. This is from 1958. It was really inexpensive. And this is from IW. Now, IW, they would, basically they bought the printing plates for cheap. When a lot of these publishers went out of business from the Golden Age, they bought all the printing plates. They didn't buy the printing rights, but they bought the printing plates. So they were basically printing a lot of these Golden Age comics or reprinting them. And sometimes they would use their own covers. Sometimes they would use a reprinted cover. I believe this is their own unique cover. And it's just a really great one. This I Dream of Love or Dream of Love. It doesn't say who the artist is, but I just thought you'd never see these IW books in super high grade. They're usually just beat up for whatever reason. They're just like totally mangled. So to get one in a 9.4 white pager from 1958, I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I was quite happy. And these were not high printed books. So this is a really cool one. I was super excited to win it. And it was very inexpensive. So I think like 50 bucks or something like that, in that range. So that was a big win for me. I kind of like that one. Okay, this next one. Okay, this next one is an L.B. Cole cover. And this is L.B. Cole number 2. Not L.B. Cole number 2. Contact Comics number 2. And I just thought this was a really cool cover. I don't generally go for the war covers, but I do like L.B. Cole style. And this one has those kind of L.B. Cole kind of colors. But it's just a cool one where you got this paratrooper and he's you know, just because he's falling out of his plane does not mean he's giving up the war or giving up the battle. He's like still shooting at these Japanese in their planes. So you get the Zero getting hit and guys getting shot. It's just pretty crazy cover. And you see other planes just crashing to the ground and stuff. And you see other paratroopers falling. And it's just a really classic cover. I'll show you the back as well. So L.B. Cole. And this is from Aviation Comics, 1944. So yeah, just a really classic L.B. Cole cover. And I've been, you know, I try to get, like, I'm a completionist, so I try to get all the various L.B. Cole covers. Some of them are a little more challenging than others. This was, this one cost me about 100 bucks. I thought it was a good price for the book. Okay, it's not super high grade, but it does present nicely. That's really what I go for. Okay, next. Next is a really cool, this one is a Canadian comic, and it's from Superior Comics. And this is like, these were a comic series that was like late in the golden age. And they would, you know, print in Canada, but then I think they used the Iger House to do the art, and they would sell to the US. So you got Mysteries number 11 from Superior Comics 1955. And this was the last issue. Now, 1955, in March of 1955, is when the Golden Age ended. And the Comic Code Authority was basically stamped on the books. And you couldn't make a lot of those horror titles anymore. It basically, they all sort of faded. So this is kind of the last issue of this title. But it's an interesting one. You got this weird hunchback guy with a little dog or cat. That looks like a cat. He's walking down a dark alley, and got the girl. Just a really interesting one. I don't know if she's going to murder him or something because she has a gun in her hand. Not sure what's going on, but it's a very intriguing cover. I just thought it was very interesting. And I thought it was a good grade too. 4.0. It was a solid grade for this book. So Superior Comics 1955. Okay, and the last slab in here is a title that I'm getting into. This is a weird one, but I'm sort of getting into it more and more. I've been picking up more and more books from this run. And it is Frankenstein. So this is Frankenstein number 28. And this is it was a fairly long-running series. I believe it ran over 30 or 40 issues. So this is number 28 from Prize Comics, 1954. And it's a Dick Briefer cover. He was the one that, Dick Briefer was the one that did pretty much all the covers for Frankenstein. I believe, if not all. So yeah, he usually did the stories as well. So just a really cool character. I just thought this one was interesting. You got this girl, and it looks like they're trying to create Miss Frankenstein kind of thing, and she's like in like with electrodes on her head and stuff. Just a really crazy one. So if you're looking for weird supernatural horror, here it is. Here is the preview of what is inside the latest tale of the world's most famous horror character. What happens when a mad scientist befriends the Frankenstein monster and gives food and shelter? Another monster, but is it a friend or foe of Frankenstein monster? So yeah, very cool book. You can become strong on the back. So that's always useful. So Frankenstein number 28. So those were all auction wins, and they were actually pretty affordable. You know, normally that book can go for a few hundred. I got it for a little bit over $100, so I thought it was a reasonable price. I was sort of picking my battles. I won more battles than I probably could afford, but I got them for really great prices. So I don't know. So those were my MyComicShop Prime Auction Wins. I actually have a few more in some of the later unboxings. I'll show a few more that I won during that auction, but stay tuned for that. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.